My name is Eric Ray. I am a realtor in Palm Springs, and I also own the Palm Springs Tribune, which is an online digital newspaper. I was born and raised in Valley Stream, New York, which is on Long Island, and I realized I enjoyed working with properties or learning about properties when I was in my early 20s. And my interest definitely developed when I lived in Long Beach, California, because I lived in a revitalization area and there was new development happening everywhere. And I was super excited to see the redevelopment of the city. My process is different whether I'm working with a buyer or a seller. If I'm working with a buyer, what I typically do is ask the buyer types of questions of what type of home they want to live in, whether they want to live in a house or a condo, whether it's fee versus lease land, the area within the Coachella Valley they'd like to live in. And I would really listen to what my buyers have to say and find them the suitable properties for them. When working with a seller, the same thing goes as far as listening to what a seller wants. What's the goal of the seller? What do they want to accomplish? I think the most important qualities for a broker to have is building trust with their clients. I think honesty and integrity go a long way, connecting with their clients, making sure we're listening to understanding what our clients want. So that when they're looking at a condominium or a house or what have you, that you're not showing them properties that they don't want to see, that you're showing them properties that fit what they want and have a good time while doing it. You also need a broker that's a good negotiator because you may have situations where there's an inspection and a repair needs to be done and the seller doesn't want to pay for the repair. You need to request these things because in theory, you could pull out of the deal if the inspection doesn't go well. So you need to utilize your negotiation skills when buying a home with your buyer. If you're the seller, you want to make sure that you're fixing everything you need to fix but not being taken advantage of from a buyer. I think in a lot of cases, people do think their house is worth more. It just really depends on what time in the marketplace the house is in. For instance, a couple of years ago, we were at the peak of the market here in Palm Springs during the COVID pandemic. But after the COVID pandemic, prices kind of dropped a little bit with interest rates going up. So I think a lot of people just aren't aware of what their home is worth in that point of time. So typically a seller will think their house is worth a little bit more, but then you have a buyer who will think that house is worth maybe a little bit less. So that's where the negotiation comes through and you want to put two people together. You want to put two parties together. Well, I had a really gratifying experience this past week when I had a buyer write a really positive testimonial for the work I did with them to help them find a condominium right in downtown Palm Springs. And moments like that really make me happy and excited and grateful for being a realtor.